Bejnar's Fine Furniture, a family-owned business in Shelby Township, has proudly reached 100 years in business in 2018. Third-generation owner Dick Bejnar and fourth-generation co-owner Shannon Bejnar sat down with us to tell their story.
I feel very proud about the fact that our family's been in the business for 100 years. Our family's always been entrepreneurs. My grandfather, on my mother's side, was a businessman. My grandfather, Bejnar, was in business ever since he came over from Poland back in 1907. He started out working as an ironer in a shirt factory because there was a depression on at that time. And then in the summer months, he would take a backpack and go into the hills of Pennsylvania where the coal miners were and sell items out of his backpack to supplement his income and to get a bankroll so he could go into business by himself. From then, he finally moved to Minneapolis for a short time, had a business there, built it up, and within a year and a half, he sold it at a good profit and wound up coming to Hamtramck. Hamtramck at that time was a booming town, a lot of immigrants coming in, a huge population increase. He wound up establishing his first store in Michigan back then in 1918. He had at least 3 locations that I know of in Hamtramck before my dad moved out to Utica proper in 1952. He rented there for over a year and a half before he built this building here in Shelby. And we've been in this location since '54.
So if Hamtramck was such a booming area, why move to Utica?
Rents were extremely high, second highest in Michigan. My dad's lease was coming up for renewal and the landlord doubled his rent. He said I could not afford double the rent. So since he lived out on Utica Road at that time, Utica was the closest town. He says, I'm going to take a chance and come out here and see if I can make my business grow here. Obviously it did.
Today, the business sells strictly furniture, but it wasn't always that way.
When my grandpa first started out, he was selling jewelry, religious articles, and music out of his backpack and then his first storefronts. Since my dad had bad eyesight, they soon got out of the jewelry business because of that and just was running music and appliances in Hamtramck. So then he added furniture, which he'd wanted to do for quite a while, since several of his friends were in the furniture business. And then, of course, business did well in our temporary location in Utica, which is now the site of the Utica Police Station, by the way. They tore down the original building and put the Utica Police Station on top of where the location was. He built out here. Auburn Road at that time was M59. There was no M59 expressway as there is now. So this was the main route between Mount Clemens and Pontiac. So it was a good location. Also, the property, though it had the M59 frontage, there was a house way back which belonged to my maternal grandfather. They had a summer home out here since the 20s. So he just bought the property on the frontage of this and built the store, which saved him several $1,000s at that time, which was a lot of money back in the 50s. And it was still on a main route. We didn't know they were going to be putting M59 bypass in at that time. Nobody did. So it was a good location at that time. Obviously, it was good enough that he could stay in business. And we stayed in business through some tough times. You know, you think in the last 100 years, you know, you had the end of World War I, you had the Great Depression, you had World War II, you had the Korean War, you had the Vietnam War, you had these mini recessions and the Great Recession coming in. They were tough times, but we survived because we took care of our customers and they took care of us.
They also attribute their success to finding a niche and sticking with it by selling unique products with personalized service.
I think our niche is just in the quality products that we purchase. My husband is so good also in this generation to bring just unique pieces. We have a lot of really unique wood accent pieces that people come in and just fall for. We really enjoy what we do. My husband has always enjoyed what he's done, and just it's a great honor to continue this business that was, has this whole history to it. And so we look forward to continuing to do that, as long as God wills it.
I think a big thing that we've always done, whether it was furniture or even previous to the furniture, was that we got the customer what they wanted,
Right.
what they needed. We always have done a lot of special order. With some of the new vendors that we've had in the last 10 years especially, more and more customization. If somebody wants this cabinet another 10 inches longer or 3 inches deeper, we've got companies that do that without costing crazy amounts extra. We've always had upholstery that have offered you 800, 1,000 different fabrics to put on their styles. It's not just, you see what you get and that's it. This is just the beginning.
So just to add a little bit more to that, I would say definitely the staff throughout as long as I've been a part of it, and I know my father-in-law, just our employees have been outstanding, and they stay a really long time, and we're like a family here.
Fourth generation owners Mark and Shannon hope that one of their kids might be interested in continuing the business. Their sons, Luke and Noah, currently work at the store and are proud to be a part of their family's history.
It's pretty cool, I guess, because I'm part of that. So, and when I help out at the store, it makes you kind of proud.
I'd say the same thing. I'm proud because knowing about the fourth generation is my dad, and then my grandpa is the third, and then my great grandfathers and all that is just brought up the store.
We've got another generation coming in after us, and maybe one of them is going to be interested enough to do it. I don't know. I had 5 kids. Only one, Mark, was the only one that was interested in continuing the business. It's not everyone that's going to do that in any business. That's why it's so unusual for a family business to reach a 100-year mark and still be in the same family. Normally the name is sold 3-4 times because they're trying to pick up on someone else's reputation. Well, that's our name on that building. It's not someone else's name. That's why we're extremely proud and extremely careful to keep that name and keep it clean, keep it right, and be the name that people want to think of when they say, I want a good piece of furniture. Where can I go that I can trust somebody? But I think you can ask just about anybody in this area that's been here a while what kind of reputation we have. And I think it's very good. I think it's because we earned it.
And by the grace of God, truly. That's what Mark and I for sure. We're so grateful. It's an honor for me to come in as an in-law and work at this with my husband. Just with this great heritage, it's just such a privilege and an honor. And I love decorating, and I love all this stuff. So it's really a lot of fun for me too.
Congratulations to the Bejnar family for reaching 100 years in business, and here's to many more years to come.